We should also like give huge props to Mark Zuckerberg. I think it comes from Mark, actually, from Mark Zuckerberg, from the top of the leadership, saying open source is important. I think that's like that. If the fact that that exists means there could be a Llama 5 where they learn the lessons from the benchmarking and say we're going to be GPT OSS and provide really awesome library of open source.
What people say is that there's a debate between Mark and Alexander Wang, who is very bright, but much more against open source. And to the extent that he has a lot of influence over the AI org, it seems much less likely, because it seems like Mark brought him in for like a fresh leadership aid in directing AI. And if the like open or closed is no longer the defining nature of the model, I don't expect that to be a defining argument between Mark and Alex. So like they're both very bright, but I have a hard time understanding all of it because Mark wrote this piece in July of 2024 maybe, which was like probably the best blog post at the time saying the case for open source AI, and then July 2025 came around and it was like we're reevaluating our relationship with open source. So it's just kind of like,
but I think also the problem, not the problem, but I think, well, we may have been a bit also too harsh, I think, and that caused some of that, because I think, I mean, we as open source developers or the open source community, because I think even though the model was maybe not what everyone hoped for, it got a lot of backlash, and I think that was a bit unfortunate, because I can see that as a company, now they were hoping for positive headlines, and instead of just getting no headlines or not these positive headlines, in turn they got negative headlines, and then all it kind of reflected bad on the company. And I think that is also something like where it's maybe a spite reaction, almost like, okay, we have not we try to do something nice, we try to give you something cool like an open source model, and now you are like, kind of like being negative about us, even like for the company. So in that sense it looks like, well, maybe then we'll change our mind, I guess. I don't know.